Hello, this is Nick from Breaker Press Games, and this is the Breaker Bulletin for May 21st, 2023. Alright, so it's the end of May and it's time for another Breaker Bulletin. So what's going on? Well, first and foremost, life is good. My dogs and I are well, my garden is planted. Right now I'm just balancing screen time and outdoor time, which is a nice situation to have. And part of that is because of I need to thank each and every one of you that backed Tragedy at Woodwitch Rise. Uh, you know, it. I live on Breaker Press, and so having a strong Kickstarter like that means that I'm going to be comfortable and things will be good for me and my dogs for a few months before the next thing, and that's just I'm very grateful to be in this position. So thank you all. So let's talk about actual projects that are in motion, because that's what you're really here to know about. And first and foremost, the Kickstarter that we ran in February, Desperation of the Hungry, this is shipping right now. In fact, I've already shipped almost all of the envelope backers. There were a couple of ones that had some issues that I need to work out. So the envelope backers, their rewards went out for the most part. All of the standard bundle people, their stuff is all packed up and ready to go out, and I'm about halfway through all of the hard mailer backers. So yeah, I am just going through and getting that all taken care of, and hopefully by the end of the week, all of those will be shipped and on their way to all of you. Additionally, also shipping this week, the May Patreon reward, the Icon Bearer, which is my grimdark adaptation of the Paladin class, is also shipping. Those of you that are both Patreon backers and back the Desperation of the Hungry Kickstarter, they will be bundled together. So yeah, exciting stuff. So let's talk about what else is going on. This past week, I actually did a bunch of work on Cleft in the Mangled Hills. I redrew the outdoor map. I wasn't satisfied. I used the Micron pens that were a little skinnier, and I just wasn't happy with it. I made the map bigger. It's going to take up the whole page, and I'm much more satisfied with it. And so I started dropping all of that into the layout, and the layout is looking great. I'm really happy with it. As far as the process goes, I usually work on layout, have everything done and how I envision it, and then I send it over to my editor. Alex goes through it, makes his edits. Usually his edits are more cuts than adding anything. There's just some last minute pushing around. We do another go over to a proofread to make sure everything is good to go, and then things are good to go. As far as the way things are looking, the layout should be done by the end of this week, which means that Cleft in the Mangled Hills will probably go to print in early June. So once again, we're a little bit further behind than we would like, but at the same time, things are getting done, and that's the important thing. So Cleft in the Mangled Hills, when that ships, the next thing, Protectorate of Genuine has been on the top of my mind. I've actually been thinking about it a lot while on dog walks and what have you. Things that I want to add, some changes that... One of the things that had been vexing me was an issue with the layout. There's these little maps that don't really sit well on the page, and there are a bunch of the different encounter pages, and I was just trying to figure out in my brain a way to make it look good. And so I've been thinking a lot more about that, and I think I've got a plan. So, Protectorate of Genuine, that is going to be the focus in June, which is what I said in the last update. But yeah, I know people have been waiting a long time. They're excited for this. I'm excited for it too. It's coming. Just be a little patient, a little bit longer. And so yeah, and so then after the Protector Genuine will be the Tragedy at Woodwitch Rise. which will go into layout probably in July and ship in August. And what's going to happen after that? Well, one of the things that I've kind of like teased on a bunch of other videos in the past is that I've been working on Rabid Dogs Volume 2 and Standard Courier Volume 2, and I really thought that Rabid Dogs Volume 2 was going to be next. And while I was working on Rabid Dogs Volume 2, one of the things was supposed to be in Rabid Dogs Volume 2 is a character class called the Elementalist. And over the last few weeks, if you've been following my Patreon page, I've been dropping spells, elemental-based spells, and I've actually have half the zine basically ready for playtesting. So that being said, most likely the next thing that you'll see go to Kickstarter is a zine based on elementalists. Might even be called The Elementalist. We'll see. That is what is coming up next. So, as always, thank you for supporting indie games and indie game designers. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon and on all of these Kickstarters over the last several years. There was just a Goodman Games series of blog posts, and Breaker Press ended up featuring in 2 of them. One was on my DCC Basics series on YouTube, and then the other was a post on a bunch of PDF releases, and 14 of the releases were Breaker Press releases. So yeah, things are moving along. I know certain things are taking a bit longer than you would hope, but all in good time. Thank you so much for all of your patience. Thank you so much for all of your support. And I will talk to you all again soon.